Yo, how's it going everybody? It's Enzo Gnosis here, and today we got another DC Universe Online video in which I will be showing you my light loadout that I've been using after the stat revamp launch, guys. So this is what I've been using: 157 CR, 83 or so skill points, so very low skill points, but I want to show you guys what I've been up to, guys. If you guys have been on the streams, you've definitely seen it, but in today's video, I'm going to be showing all the other people how I've been playing DCUO. So as always, we're going to start off with our traits, go into our traits here. I'll show you guys my inventory too and my gear, just so you know exactly how I play. But if you aren't aware, with the stat revamp, all the light powers or all your powers will be available to you as soon as you hit level 30, so we don't need that. And for weapons, we have 83 skill points, like I said, and I spec into the basic weapon tree and go as far as to get a weapon mastery, and that's it, guys. And obviously you don't need rifle. I just like rifle because I think it's cool, but you can use any weapon you want here and just go to the weapon mastery of that single item, and that's all you need. Next, for acrobatics or your movement mode, you're just going to want to get the ability that makes you move super fast. For me, it's rocket assisted glide, but there's a similar thing for super speed, flight, and skimming. For iconic powers, all you need is robot sidekick. And for stat points, I'm going to go up to this top part again in a second here, but in the bottom here, you want, as a DPS, you always want critical attack chance and critical attack damage. And then in our specific loadout, you're going to put all your stat points or skill points into the stats for might and power, guys. Those are the most important things. Might determines how much damage your superpowers do, and power is obviously what you need to use your superpowers. So that's why we want to spec into there. Up here, guys, I choose my focus to be hybrid, a hybrid of weapons and powers, and I choose that because I think that is the way the game is supposed to be played. I think that you should be using a mixture of weapons and your powers to play the game, because weapons are in there for a reason. It's just fun, guys. I like to change up my game. I like to use a mixture of things. It gets less boring, and it kind of like spices it up a little bit, and I think that that's the way the game is supposed to be played. In addition, this will make it so that when you use your weapon, you'll generate power. So it does two things for you. First of all, they kind of mix together, but anyways, I'd separate into two things. The first thing is that it allows you to be self-sufficient. So say you're in a solo and you're doing lots of damage, but you run out of power with your light loadout. All you have to do, if you've chosen hybrid, is you just use your weapon a couple of times and you have full power again. It's very, very simple. And on top of that, it takes off a lot of pressure from your controllers because you can generate your own power. That way, your controllers can focus on giving power to your healers and tanks, which is what you need. You don't want DPSs to be soaking up all the power, because then healers can't heal and tanks will die. So you want to just put less pressure on pretty much everyone. It helps you because it helps you be self-sufficient. Now, some would argue that superpowered would be the way to go for this, because mostly all of your damage, the big hitting pieces of your damage, are going to come from your powers. So superpowered makes it so that you regenerate power, and it gives you an additional might and power rating, guys. So if you have a super good, dedicated controller who's willing to, dump power into the DPSs, fine, go with this. If you're not as worried about doing solo missions, go with this, guys. But I like hybrid because I think that's the way the game is supposed to be played. And yeah, I'm sorry for that little rant, but that's why. I know there's controversy over this. That's why I chose that. Now let's go into the loadouts, guys. So for our loadout, our first power, I know I'm talking if I seem like I'm out of energy, it's because this is the third time I've been trying to record this video. My recording software keeps bugging out on me, so this is my third time recording this. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm out of energy, but yeah. Anyways, guys, first power is Chompers. It buffs up all your other powers and lets you do more damage, essentially, which is important. Next power is Ram. Next is Chainsaw, next is Handclap, next is Ballistic Assault, and then final is Robot Sidekick. We have Robot Sidekick in there because there's no point in having another power in there. We don't need it for a loadout. And Robot Sidekick does a consistent, solid damage, so it's just extra good to have that extra little damage in there. Now, keep in mind, guys, this loadout, I'd say it's pretty advanced. It stems off into very different pieces, and there's lots of different ways you can choose to fight within this light loadout. It's not just a single rotation that you're just doing constantly. No, it's very different, very situational, and that's why I like it so much. So I'm gonna skim over it to dumb it down, guys. I'll talk over it further in the video, but to dumb it down, this second power and all of its powers beneath it that we're gonna be using are used for groups of enemies. If your tank pulls in a group of enemies of two or plus enemies, you want to be using this group of powers that is associated with the ram. Now, Chainsaw is our next power, and that you can also use for groups of enemies or solo targets, but it makes you do a solid amount of damage. Downsides are it takes a lot of power. Secondly, it puts you in a very vulnerable position, so healers are going to have to heal you up, and you could possibly die. So use Chainsaw when you're confident enough in yourself that you're not going to die, and you're okay. Healers are fine with it. Next power is Handclap. You use this specifically for solo or single target enemies, like a boss fight. You always use this set of powers for the boss fight, guys, and it does a lot of like really good damage. And yeah, I'll talk about that further. But this is for single targets, so boss fights, or if there's like one enemy left and everyone in your raid group or your alert's trying to hit them, use Handclap. The Handclap, group of powers. But I'll talk about the group of powers. I know it's confusing. Talk about it in a sec. Ballistic Assault is used for it mows down enemies. Like if there's a group of ads, it will destroy them. It does so much damage. And you can also use it for boss fights too. It's whatever you want though. Okay, now let's get into our loadout, guys. So as you can see here, my robot sidekick is active. You always want that to be active when you when you go into a fight. See, he's active right there. He's shooting that enemy. And he's just doing a little damage here and there, which is good. We always want that extra damage. So robot sidekick, always pop that first. Now, after you pop your robot sidekick to start a fight, you always want to hit chompers, which is this. It puts those little things on them, and they'll start glowing green, and you'll get damage over time. And it makes you do additional damage with your other powers, so that's good. First thing, guys, so this is gonna be, I know it's gonna be a little bit of a longer video, but it's very complicated. I want to make sure that you guys understand the loadout, and I help you guys. If you need me to slow down or anything, just go back in the video. Feel free to go back in the video and pause or whatever, wherever you need it. But yeah, guys. So, anyways, like I said, when you go into a fight, you always want to use chompers, and then we're going to talk about the ram group first. So this is for groups of enemies. If there's a cluster of them, 2+ enemies use the ram group. So for the ram group, we tap our power, which is the ram, like this. So that's what it looks like, guys. You tap it, then you tap range again for the fan, and then you hold it for impact, which is the train. Okay, that's the little loadout. Tap, hold, and then for impact, what you can do, you can clip impact, which is the train, by pressing the power again. So you can, you see what I'm doing here? It just makes it so you can do more damage in a shorter period of time if you clip impact. On top of that, there's another way you can use this power or this group, which is by only using fan and the ram. By completely cutting out impact, you will use more power, but you will do more damage in a shorter period of time. So it's a trade-off, guys. It depends on what you want to do. If you have a lot of power, if you have a lot of stat points and really good gear, you could probably do this. And a good controller who's willing to dump power into you as a DPS, you can totally do this, guys. So what that looks like is you just tap, and then see what I'm doing here? Tap and then ram. Tap, ram. Tap, ram. Tap, ram. And you can see the little wind around him, which means that we are actually getting the damage from the fan. Now, that's just, it's just alternate different things you can do. For the damage, guys, you can use this, or for the melee, excuse me. You want to hit chompers, then you use your chainsaw, tap, 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 clip with the chainsaw again. Tap. Oh, we ran out of power. So like I said, guys, you saw there, I ran out of power super fast. I know I didn't have full power, but I did run out fast. So now see, this is what I do to get my power back. Just do a couple flips here and there. As you can see, my power is going up pretty fast. Okay, we have full power again. So we hit. You want to use the chainsaw, which is tap melee, a total of 4 times before clipping it again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, clip. 1, 2, 3, 4, clip. Okay? Then we run out of power and we do it again. That's just what it looks like, guys. And then also, if chompers becomes inactive, you want to be able to pop that. You want to pop that again before you start using your other powers, because you want to get that extra damage, like I said. Now we're gonna go into our last group, which is the Handclap Group. So the melee one's the most simple one, it's the least complicated. I'd say the first one is the most complicated, which is the Ram. So our last one's a little bit less complicated than the Ram, but it's more complicated than the Chainsaw group. So what we do is we tap for our clap, tap again to clap, hold melee to get the grasping hand, and it's little ticks of damage over time, right? So it's like, all right, and then after you hit grasping hand, you hold melee to use grasping hand, you tap clap again to clip it. So it's tap, hold, then you press it again. Tap, hold, press it again. Tap, hold, press it again. See what I'm doing here? Like I said, this is for solo targets, guys. Raid bosses, alert bosses, single targets, that's what you want to use this for. The clap version. So, guys, like I said, let me go through this again. After I got a power up. This is the full rotation with the clap. This is what I do. So say I walk into the boss fight. All right, I have my robot sidekick out. He's ready to go. Here's what we do. We pop our trinket. We pop chompers. We start going in. See what I'm doing here? And it does a really solid amount of damage. Then, if there's a group of enemies who are struggling, I don't know, if you want to do a lot of damage, you can use your supercharge, which is this ballistic assault. It does fat damage, and it's really good for wiping out fat, like really big groups of ads. So, then we have a supply drop, soda cola. Let me show you guys my inventory and specifically the mods. You want to get the mods that boost primarily power and might. Like I said, those are the most important stats for our specific loadout. So anything that boosts power and might, you want to get. You want gear that focuses on power and might too. So power and might stats are the most important thing. As we know, stat revamp is what makes stats important again, which is why we want power and might, guys. Those are very important, and you want to spec into those, like our stat points down here. Spec heavily into this. And yeah, guys, that's the loadout I've been using. I know it's really, really complex, and there's a ton of different ways to play it. When you go into a different fight, literally there's so many options you can do, like to use this loadout, which is what I really love about it. It's really, really fun. I love this loadout, and I hope you guys like it too, and I hope this video helped you guys out. So if you guys decide to use this loadout, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you have any criticism, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I will read every single comment, and I will respond to anybody that has a question about the loadout or has a question for me about DCUO Online. I will respond to you, I promise. So I hope that this loadout helped you guys out. Guys, get out there, enjoy DCUO, enjoy the stat revamp, and enjoy the rest of your day.
That, then you're good
Peace
to
out,
go.
Guys.
Yeah. No dreams too big, chase anything, got the passion to do. Only a dream till it happens to you. Finally seeing money, now I'm acting a fool. Never thought touring the world all year would be something I might actually do. Friends came through, got me so high, I forgot who I was passing it to. Party in a mansion, splash in a pool. Reminiscing 06, back in the school. My whole crew come through and rap with us too. Couple of them big goons packing it.